My best friend has become very close with my lifelong friend and it's starting to become toxic. My best friend has become very close with my lifelong friend. They have always been acquaintances throughout the last 15 years but never have hung out one-on-one. A little backstory, I recently have become close again with the old friend after distance and life grew between us for about 10 years. About 2 years ago, her and I, let's call her Rose, reunited and we have basically been inseparable ever since and I'd call her my best friend. Throughout this, it has caused her and my lifelong friend, let's call her Lily, to become extremely close since Lily's breakup from her boyfriend a few months ago. They now hang out without me, call each other every day and even say I love you at the end of their conversations. Honestly, I would have been okay with this in general because I'm mature and understand that sometimes people form connections that we can't help, even though I personally feel like it's a boundary you don't cross when socializing and connecting with others, but maybe I'm jaded when it comes to that. The thing that gets me is when I initially reunited with Rose, Lily vocalized to me that Rose is unstable and to not take her advice whenever I would come to her with needing advice and sharing what Rose would say. Recently, Lily also has given me a hard time for choosing to get back with my boyfriend of 5 years after leaving for a week to clear my head. She didn't just give me a hard time, she came down on me hard, brought up everything he's done and then proceeded to bring up things that only Rose knew, which means they were talking about my business with each other. Lily now has barely talked to me all week. It was my birthday a few days ago and she just sent a message saying happy birthday Cam, no emotion behind it. I hard reacted to it and proceeded to send her a picture from Facebook to which she ignored and then a random Snapchat to which she also ignored yesterday. She then proceeded to message this group girl chat with me, Lily, Rose and a couple other girls not even 20 minutes after ignoring me, going what are the plans for tonight at Rose, at Sadie. It felt like a vindictive dig at me and quite frankly, it pissed me off. She could have had these conversations separately from the group I was in. There was no such talk in the group before, so why now bring it up in there? It's sus. I genuinely am hurt over this, so much so I left the group chat and have barely talked to Rose today even though she's tried reaching out. I have no idea how to gauge this because I feel like I may or may not be overthinking this. I have brought up my feelings in the past weeks to Rose and expressed how I felt uncomfortable of how close they have gotten and how the mistreatment from Lily just changed the dynamic with us and how I don't appreciate her talking about my business with Lily behind my back. Her response was that I'm her best friend and always will be number one and she will never talk about me with her again and it was just a one-time thing. The backstory with Lily and I's friendship is very complicated. She has always been blunt, direct and abrasive. We do have our good times and we get each other in a lot of ways. We've been through a lot in life together and have had a couple of falling outs for a few years at a time. She's a lot to handle and constantly plays victim with the why me mentality. PPL close to her would say the same. Even Rose has agreed. I feel Lily has no room to judge me for the decisions I make in life because she recently has made decisions such as allowing her ex back after he left her on her birthday, which caused her to go into the deepest depression for months where she talked of suicide, and when he tried to come crawling back she allowed him in for a couple of weeks until he got into a physical altercation not even a month ago. So from my perspective she's not in a place to judge. She chose to come at me and take my decision to go back personally and got pretty angry and has given me the cold shoulder ever since. Just last night they went out and posted selfies on socials. I'm annoyed and just want to take space from this entire situation, but do not even know how to gauge this with Rose, who I care a lot about. We are in our 30s, so this is embarrassing. I'm just needing advice on where to take this or any insight on if I'm overreacting or not. Comment. Yes, it is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you. I can appreciate that you're feeling left out. But this whole concept of having a bestie as an adult and being protective or downright possessive of their time and attention is not okay. You need to branch out a bit. No one person can be all the things you need in a friend. Pick up a new hobby, volunteer, take a class, make some different friends. And it sounds like you did make a poor choice about the boyfriend, and a good friend will call that out. Just because she is making stupid choices too doesn't mean she's wrong about yours. People are often a lot better at evaluating situations they're not in than the ones they are in. I also don't think you should have the expectation that everything you tell someone will be kept secret unless you explicitly ask for that. I don't have a lot of friends that overlap, but if I were concerned about a mutual friend, I would absolutely discuss it with another friend. I don't share secrets and I rarely ask people to keep secrets for me. I don't know. I think you have an immature view on friendship and are kind of stuck in high school mode. I'm not saying that to be unkind. Just that maybe you should speak with a therapist and get some professional support so that you are less impacted by things like this. I've really only been in kind of a similar situation in college, and it was about a wedding. I got upset that I wasn't Mo and our other friend was. I didn't do/say anything, but I remember feeling kind of left out even though I was a bridesmaid and very involved. Luckily, we are all still friends more than 20 years later, lasted a lot longer than the marriage, but we are all spread out across the country now, so we largely have one convos/get-togethers and don't do much as a group. I think you sound a little jealous, and it seems like you know that too. That being said, it sounds like the abrasive friend is in her honeymoon phase with your other friend. I don't think they should be talking about you behind your back. But if the nicer one apologized, I would accept it. I think if you approach a similar situation again with these two, you should not bring up that you don't like how close they are. That is immature. But you have every right to feel excluded/talked about. Maybe get them together, the three of you, and go do something fun to ease the tension. Next story 2. My boyfriend of 2 years hasn't brought up he's in a relationship to a female friend. Am I being overbearing? Just to clarify a few things to start, I do have a history of being cheated on that's unfortunately developed into insecurity issues. I've been in therapy for almost a year to properly address these and other traumas, and I'm actively trying to find the most empathetic and respectful way to approach these issues with my partner. I also have no big concerns with either of us having friends of the opposite sex in general, as we both do. We are also quite serious and have discussed our plans for marriage and buying a home in the near future. For context on the situation, my boyfriend met this female friend several months ago in a work setting briefly, and they didn't contact each other once she left her temporary position. Fast forward about a month ago, she reached out to him through social media wanting to reconnect. She asked to exchange numbers at some point, and now they text nearly daily, with enough detail that he shares his plans for the day, including mentioning his family members and his more personal interests and hobbies. While this feels pretty normal and like harmless chit-chat, there's a few things about the situation I've come to find worrying. I only found out about their friendship by reading out a text for him while he was driving, and mistakenly referred to her as a he, as she has a very gender-neutral name, to which he came forward and explained who she was and how they knew each other. While he is not obligated to tell me everything about his life, he has a very strong habit of bringing up people he interacts with when we're chatting about our days, especially if it's someone he's regularly talking to. So this is just a contrast to his usual behavior. It was during this explanation that he mentioned he had initially thought she was interested in him based on their first conversations. He claimed to have made the boundary of being just friends. He allegedly asked her either "Do you like me?" or "Think that I'm attractive?" to which she allegedly said that it was strictly friendship. I originally wanted to read the texts but felt concerned about breaching his privacy by asking, and wanted to simply trust his words, but I find the phrasing weird and concerning, but never once mentioned that he's in a relationship. In my mind, this is the best time to naturally bring up his relationship status. In fact, it's never been brought up at all, and I simply don't exist when he shares his plans for the day with her. He's expressed before that he wants to maintain a sort of independent social circle that doesn't always involve me, and I've expressed the same since it's vital to us staying healthy and retaining a sense of individuality, but am a less outgoing person than he is. I don't expect our relationship to be a conversation piece every day of his life, and honestly would prefer it not to be, but this is the first instance he's simply not acknowledged his own relationship status. His co-workers, friends, family, and several acquaintances know either my name, or at least that he has a partner, so why is this specific instance suddenly different? When I addressed these concerns, he was understanding and took accountability for my discomfort, but there's just something not allowing me to fully let it go. Am I finding it difficult to move past this because of my own insecurity issues, or is this genuinely concerning behavior? Comment. So he texts another woman every day, multiple times a day, and she doesn't even know that he has a girlfriend? I'm sorry, but this is extremely weird, and I would not be okay with it if I were you. His behavior suggests that his explanations are incomplete. He's hiding something, and it's normal to think the worst. Privacy is important, but truth is more important. A person needs to be observant in all personal contacts. When speech doesn't match behavior, then finding the truth by whatever means is acceptable. You deserve the truth. Honestly, seems odd to me based on how you describe it. How do you know he's texting her daily? I'd ask to see the text messages. Editing to say, I don't necessarily think cheating, but it is a red flag, and could be. I don't think you being worried has anything to do with you being cheated on previously. It's just weird, and I would feel the same way, and I've never been cheated on, at least to my knowledge, lol. He needs to show you those texts out of respect for your relationship, especially because you have been cheated on in the past. This will continue to eat at you unless you know for sure. He should understand that. Ask him how he would like it if you were texting email friends constantly 5 days a week throughout the day that he had never met and you had never told you were in a relationship. Quit talking about getting married until you feel comfortable with the situation. I would also let him know you want to stop talking about marriage until this is settled. The relationship could continue even after you're married, so if you are uncomfortable now, you will continue to be uncomfortable. He needs to make you comfortable with it. She clearly likes him, or has some type of feelings for him if she's texting him 5 days a week out of the blue. He may not see it as cheating if he's not having sex with her, but he could very well be emotionally cheating if he's talking with her 5 days a week. If he talked about his day and his plans for the day, how have you not been brought up into the conversation? How did you find out that she didn't know he had a girlfriend? Also, you are at 2-year mark when things can become more mundane / excitement / lust wears off, and this girl is giving him attention. Okay, well, I would ask yourself and him the questions above. How would you not have come up when he shares his plans with her yet his family has? That right there is telling of something. He needs to show you the texts. I fully believe men and women can be friends platonically, but when you choose to do that, you have to be as transparent as possible. It's just common sense and respect. With as many people, especially men, who don't believe men / women can be friends, it's seriously just common sense, and what he did is really shady, and he's now made you insecure and jealous. Set a boundary next time you want to talk to him about it. I have a boundary for myself, and I won't be with someone who cheats or gives me the perception that he's cheating. You unfortunately have given me that perception by your actions. Please give me your phone and I want to see these texts, snaps, messages. If he says no, then I'd say, then what you're admitting to is there is incriminating shit in here. Do you understand that? If you don't, I guess I have some decisions to make.